And welcome back to another episode of the Real Conversations podcast. I'm your host, Jacob O'Connor. Real Conversations is a podcast for those dedicated to doing hard things and living a meaningful life. This week is a special episode. This is the 100th episode of the Real Conversations podcast. That marks over 2 years of consistency, and it feels great. We couldn't get here without the support of you guys and you guys sharing the episode. So if you're listening to this episode and you enjoyed the podcast, this may be your first time listening, but if you enjoyed the episode, please make sure to share the link with a friend. It really helps us grow, and we greatly appreciate it. This week's episode, to match it being a big week for 100 episodes, it's going to be with a guest I'm excited to bring on. His name is Spencer, and he's from SB Mowing, which is a YouTube channel. Spencer is a really young guy. He's like 24, 25, and he has a really cool and interesting life. He has over 2 million YouTube subscribers, so he's a full-time content creator. He's got over 30 million followers across all platforms, and I mean, the engagement that he gets on his posts is just incredible. Like, people really, really enjoy his content. So yeah, he's got over 30 million followers. He gets over 3 billion views annually, and he's just a super down-to-earth guy and super, super interesting. It's an episode that took a long time to nail down, but it was one that was well worth the wait. So without further ado, here's the episode. Today, I'm very excited. This has been in the works for quite a minute. Today, I'm joined by Spencer from SB Mowing. How are you doing, Spencer?
I'm doing good. It's been, I think, over 6 months maybe since we've been trying to do this, and just kept getting busy and pushing it back.
You're a busy guy. I will say the crazy thing is that is not the longest I've had to wait. I've had to wait over a year for some episodes to get set up.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that's just crazy. It's the nature of it.
That's dedication right there.
You got to do it that way sometimes. But I wanted to give some context for the listeners first, and I'll kind of let you introduce yourself too. But I mean, you started on YouTube and kind of sharing on social media like 3 years ago or so?
Let's see. Yeah, it's been 2.5 years now.
2.5 years.
Fall of 2021. So, actually, August 31st, 2021. I don't know why I remember that date, but that was the very first day I posted my first video.
That's crazy. Because if you look at how fast you've grown, you've got over 30 million followers across all platforms, over 3 billion views annually. And that's just the last metrics that I've seen.
Yeah.
Those are just, I mean, does it feel real to you?
No, because I'm just, out chilling, mowing the lawn with a camera, and then I go back and edit it and upload it. So maybe if I was at a concert venue with all the people out there in the audience, then it would feel real. But yeah, I mean, it still feels unreal for sure.
It is really cool. And for those that don't know, I'd love for you to kind of describe your style of content and how you got into it.
Yeah. So I basically just go, so I didn't come up with this concept. I saw some other people doing it on social media, and I knew that I always kind of wanted to start a YouTube account and just get on social media and making content. And I was running a lawn business for 10 plus years at that point, and I saw some people on, I think it was on Instagram or YouTube or something, going out and doing lawns for free. I'm like, hey, that's super cool. And I saw one guy, Top Notch Lawn Care, that does it here in Wichita. And so I saw him. I'm like, oh, that's super cool. Why can't I do that? I'm here in Wichita too. And so I just, when we were out on our routes doing our just normal mowing routes, whenever I would see just a crazy overgrown one, I'd just be like, hey, do you care if I just record myself mowing your lawn and help you out and let me get some video? And they're like, yeah, that'd be awesome. And so I just started doing that. And since then I've been doing it, uploading a video once a week, and just have done it consistently. I've, increased the quality of my video, and I've, just been learning a lot about producing video, recording, editing, and just making it better and really watchable for people. So yeah.
Man, I love watching your videos. It's such a calming, relaxing thing, especially when you have the voiceover going.
Yeah, I like doing the voiceover. I actually have a mic just like this. So I'm like, hey everyone, this is Spencer here with SB Mowing, and we're here at this crazy overgrown lawn that my wife and I found. And when I knocked on the door, the homeowner was just stunned that I offered it for free. So there's a little soundbite for you.
Perfect. I'll go ahead and clip that one.
All right.
In reality, we're in the duplex that I just got the lease on this week.
Let's go. New place.
I know. I'm excited, man. I mean, first of all, thank you for your flexibility. We're obviously just recording in my living room, so I really appreciate you just running with it. But I wanted to kind of ask too, were you nervous when you first started walking up to people? I mowed lawns growing up. That's a normal thing for a teenager to do. From what I understand, you were actually pretty good at it and had relative success, built up a nice client base. But then to go and just knock on someone's door and say, hey, can I mow your lawn for free and also record myself? Was there any sort of hesitation or awkwardness?
Yeah, it is nerve-wracking, but I was used to going up and knocking on neighbors' doors and saying hey, we take care of your neighbor's lawn. Here's a business card, if you ever need your lawn mowed. So I kind of had that under my belt, but it is still weird to me today, like trying to explain to people that like, hey, like I'm doing this for free. Like I promise I won't charge anything. Like just trying to like convince them that like, hey, I'm not scamming you. I'm just trying to get some video. I'm trying to help you guys out, get your yard cut, and then like that's it. I'll leave. I'm not going to charge you or put a lien on your house or anything.
So what is your setup? How are you capturing these videos, and like what is your thought process behind it?
Yeah. So my setup, I just use a tripod and an iPhone.
You use an iPhone?
I use an iPhone.
Oh my gosh.
I used to use like a little GoPro, but the quality on the iPhone is just so much better. And then I use a MacBook to edit on Final Cut Pro, and so it's so much easier just to airdrop the footage straight to it, and not have to deal with SD cards or anything. And it holds a terabyte of footage, so it's really nice. So yeah, just a tripod that I'm there by myself at every lawn. So, I click start and I go and do my little section. And then I remember where I was at, so I can move the camera and then, click start again and start exactly where I was at. So it looks like a seamless kind of video. I can edit it to look like it's just all kind of one shot,
It seems very thought out and like an intentional whenever I see your shots.
Yeah, they're very intentional. I've got kind of a system, where I start off with all the edging first and get all that cleaned up, and then I get to the mowing. But yeah, just the whole time that I'm doing it, I'm thinking, okay, how far can I go, before I'm out of the camera frame? Okay, finish that section up, and then move it. So I'm like constantly thinking of that. Yeah.
I also think it's really cool that you just do it with a tripod and iPhone, because you've got over 2 million YouTube subscribers, which I know a lot of people that, that's a huge account. That is incredible that you've grown it like that. And I think a lot of folks, unfortunately, want to make excuses for why they can't get started doing things. And, it'd be great if I could do that, or, they just kind of have that mentality in the back of their head of, I can't do it. And I think that you doing it still in a very rudimentary way, it's high quality, but like you're not having a production crew out there. You don't have 8 different angles going on. I think that's kind of inspiring for the listeners.
Yeah, I think a lot of people get stuck in that mentality that they need to go buy a $2,000 or $3,000 camera to be able to be like, Casey Neistat or like somebody like that, or just a YouTuber in general. But really, like you've got it in your pocket. Like you can start with your phone. Like you don't need almost any equipment. You can just throw your phone up, start vlogging yourself, shooting whatever you're good at or what you do, and just get a tripod to hold your phone for you, and that's it. Like I even got stuck in some of that, just thinking that I just need to spend a lot of money to get good quality, when really, if you're making good content on your phone, it's going to get way more views than somebody making crappy content with a $5,000 camera.
Your full-time career now is content creation. That is something that is becoming more and more normal now, but I feel like a lot of people don't know the behind the scenes and what that's like. You had a job prior to this, albeit just like a short term after college, right? Yeah.
So I graduated from K-State in 2021 with a degree in computer science, and I got a job working actually with the company that I did my internship with as a mobile app developer. So I was like just developing this app on phones. And I was working remote. I loved the job. I was making decent money. I loved the company, but there was always just something about working for myself that I always liked. Just mowing lawns. Just growing up, like I built like I think we had a client base of almost 80 yards at one time. Wow! And I had 2 employees helping me out, and it was just a lot more fulfilling to me to work for myself. And so that was just kind of my goal. And I never thought I would be doing content full time. If you asked me 2 years ago, I thought I'd call you crazy. But I've turned the clients over to my brother now, so it's his business now, and I just do the content.
That is awesome. What was that jump like? I can only imagine how scary it must have been.
It's very scary. So I got pretty lucky, and I had my very first TikTok video went pretty viral. It got like 7 million views. And then my second YouTube video went pretty viral. I think it's up to like 13 million views now. And like, for those of you that don't know, like when you get paid from like these platforms like YouTube and TikTok and Facebook or Snapchat or like whatever platform you're able to get bigger on, it doesn't start out very much. Like you barely make any money. Like that same video, like somebody else that had a much bigger following that was very established would make a lot more money, because those ads are wanting to go on those channels, and they're paying to be put on those channels. So that very first month, I went super viral, and I made like a little bit of money, like not that much.
Yeah.
And then I just saw the potential. I'm like, wait, I can make money doing this? Like, okay, let's, I've got some saved up in the bank. I wasn't married at the time. I had a girlfriend of, I think we were dating for 4 years at that point. She's now my wife.
Congratulations.
Thank you. And so we weren't married, didn't have any kids. I didn't have very many expenses, and so I'm like, dude, this is the time to risk it. Like, I was in a really good situation where I could risk it because I could, go find a job pretty easily if I really needed to. Mm-hmm. And then I also had my clients for mowing to fall back on. And so, yeah, just making that decision to just drop everything and go for it was really tough, especially, telling my parents. They were pretty on board. They knew that, I'm a smart guy and they raised me well and I knew what I was doing. And then when I told my girlfriend's parents, I actually told her dad, I went to go ask for his permission to marry her. And he said yes, and we were talking everything. And then at the end of it, I'm like, oh yeah, by the way, I'm quitting my job and I'm going to make content full time. He's like, okay.
That was a smart move not starting with that.
Yeah. So yeah, they were pretty cool with it though and supportive, and they knew that I'm really like a go-getter. Like there's a lot of other, content creators that really just kind of do it and just kind of do it on the side a little bit. But like, I want to like dive in and like be the best I can.
Where does that mentality stem from?
Oh man. It's probably a lot of things. I think just growing up, just not like we grew up pretty decent, but, my family didn't have a lot of money to just go do whatever we wanted to do or like get whatever we want to get. And like, I remember like, I'd be so jealous of like my friends at like Christmas time, cause they'd be coming home with these like phones or video games or yeah. And so, I'd get nice presents, but nothing like that.
Right.
And so like, as a kid, I would, if I really wanted to get something, like even like, I remember like a Webkins, like for like $20 or something. I'd have to go figure out a way to do it. And so I think just me as a kid, just having to figure that out, I think, and that's how I actually started my lawn care business when I was 11 years old, just going and knocking on neighbors' doors. Hey, can I mow your lawn for $20 or something like that? And I remember this really cool, thing that I found, that there was this one year that we had like a really bad, like grasshopper invasion or something. And like, they were like destroying like everyone's bushes, like eating everyone's bushes. And like, you could see it too. And so I would charge people like 10 cents a grasshopper that I would go catch in their bushes. So that was one of my grinding moments as a kid.
I was gonna say, you might be the only person in history to charge by the grasshopper.
Yeah, we charged by the grasshopper. And then I didn't want to kill him. So I went to a field, like a farmer's field, which I probably destroyed some crops or something. I'd go dump them on the side of it or whatever. So.
Were you just like putting them in a cage, or how are you collecting them?
Yeah, I had like this little box meant for like, it was like a little cage for like frogs or something. Mm-hmm. There's this little plastic thing we got at like Petco or something. Yeah.
That's cool. Going back to your childhood, I think the distinction between having to earn your way versus kind of just having things being a handout is a really important one. I'm very bullish on like you putting in effort and then seeing a correlation of an outcome that like you wanted. I think maybe that's kind of what started to tick in the back of your mind whenever you had to work to get your Webkins and you were kind of grinding a little bit. Yeah,
I think it is. I just, once I got a vision in my mind as a kid, like I would do anything to make it happen. Like literally like work for years to make it happen. And actually, this is a really cool story because, oh man, I don't even know how young I was when I started having this kind of dream, but I wanted my first car to be a Corvette. I'm like we would always go to car shows all the time with my dad and my grandpa, and I would always look at the Corvettes and be like, man, that's so cool. Like I want one. And so, I bought my first car. It was a $6,000 1989 Corvette.
Are you serious?
And I bought it with my mowing money. And I've still got it today.
Dude, that's so dope.
Yeah, so I plan on keeping that car for the rest of my life.
You should casually pop that in the back of one of your videos, like just subtly as you're mowing, just have it parked on the driveway or something.
That'd be cool, yeah. Or like see if I can pull a trailer with it and like pull it up to a yard.
There you go.
That'd be kind of cool.
There you go. That's awesome. So, I mean, you started off, you're making a little bit of money. You had your first couple of videos go viral, which is kind of that's really hard to happen nowadays.
Yeah, it's very hard to happen.
Do you attribute that solely to luck, or do you think like you did? Like, what do you think that was?
It's definitely like there's definitely luck involved with that. I won't deny that, but I like to tell people that like I was extremely addicted to YouTube. Like literally every night I would watch it for like an hour and a half, 2 hours, like while I was falling asleep, like every night for like multiple years. And so I kind of got, I just started thinking of like what I like to watch and why I like to watch it, and how these people that I'm watching are editing their videos, and that's making me continue watching, and so I just kind of started taking some of like what I've seen on YouTube and like what I like, and especially like on TikTok. I didn't have TikTok beforehand. My wife convinced me to turn my first video into a TikTok, which I think was like why I went viral, because like I've seen when something goes viral on TikTok is usually the one to take off first, and then YouTube closely follows behind. And so when I saw that video take off on TikTok, I'm like, whoa, this is super cool. And then like a week later, it just goes nuts on YouTube. So yeah, I think it's just a mixture of me figuring out what I like and just making the best video that I could off of my knowledge from watching, and then luck as well. So
when you get started and you go full time on this, would you say you're doing more or less work now than when you got started full time as a content creator?
I'm doing way more work now. Yeah, just because it just starts adding on top of each other. We've got like sponsors now. We've got like a merch store. I've got pressure washing that I'm doing now. So yeah, I feel like I'm working like literally from the time I wake up to the time I go to bed every single day. Like it's crazy. And so like Saturdays don't feel like Saturdays anymore, and weekends don't feel like weekends. It all just feels like a work day. So
do you enjoy that, or do you feel yourself on the verge of like a burnout sometime down the road?
Both. Yeah, I definitely enjoy it. There's times that I do get very burned out and I need a break, but usually those times come when I'm really grinding and I'm like working like really hard for a few weeks at a time so that I can like film, like record, edit like videos for the next couple months. And so I'm able to really kind of chillax over the next couple months once I, get those done and edited. But the problem is that like my work is very seasonal. You can only find overgrown lawns, at least here in Wichita, the end of April. So like right now through August, and then usually by then everything like starts burning up and dying because it's so freaking hot.
Yeah.
And so, I've only got this really short window to try to get a whole year's worth of videos. So I'm just like working my tail off, and one of these yards is taking me 8 to 12 hours just to go in and
that's crazy.
Like film, record, and like actually do the work. Filming and recording doesn't really add like a lot of time to it. It's really just more of like, if I were to actually just do the work without filming and recording, I wouldn't do it section by section. I would like go and edge the whole thing at once, and then go and shovel the whole thing at once, and then mow the whole thing at once, and I'd be done. And so with that aspect, it does add time. But yeah, it's just this short season, and if we don't get it all 52 videos for the 52 weeks of the year, we've got to travel. So we've traveled down to Florida to mow lawns during the winter. We go down to Corpus Christi, Texas to mow lawns. We went to Waco, Texas this year. We just got back from a trip from Arkansas for pressure washing. So it's just go.
When you're going to mow in Florida, are you pulling a trailer with all your own stuff, or how are you?
Yep. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, the long 2-day drive down to Florida. So
yeah. Speaking as someone who just made that haul, it is quite the journey.
Yeah, it's a tough drive for sure.
Oh my gosh. So on those days where you have like 8 to 12 hour days and things are so hectic, if you have an hour to decompress at night, or maybe it's just 30 minutes to find a little bit of peace, like what do you go to? What is your way to kind of decompress?
Oh man, I'll get on TikTok, which is bad. Yeah, just lay down and scroll my phone. My wife and I, we watch Survivor.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, we've been trying to get into maybe another TV show that we can watch. We're not sure what yet, but just something that we can just chill out and watch. We'll go drive around, and we like to go look at like nice houses and stuff, just to drive around and just, just be able to get out and not be at home and in the office. So yeah, not a lot. I used to play video games a lot, but I don't play video games anymore.
You got less time?
Yeah, I don't have any time to play video games.
What is your least favorite part of the process?
Oh man. Yeah, so behind the scenes, finding yards is tough. We usually spend one day a week where we go out for like 8 hours just and pick a part of the city. And just like we've got the like Google Maps pulled up, and we just go up and down every single street, making sure we look at every single house in that area. And then, we write down all the addresses, and most of the time people are saying, when I knock on the door and ask them, they say yes. Because, if someone's lawn is crazy overgrown, they're getting fines from the city. They can't even walk through their yard. Like it's actually something like a necessity. So we get a lot of yeses, which is good. With pressure washing, it's not as much of a necessity. So I get a lot of no's, which burns me out quick. And it just gets to my head like, oh man, this is tough, dude. Nobody is going to let me pressure wash their driveway for free.
Yeah.
And so, that's probably the toughest part, is finding the jobs and getting people to, let me do it for them.
With the pressure washing, do you think part of the hesitation is you're going to use their water, I'm assuming?
No, it's not that. So it's pretty common to use people's water, especially in Arkansas. Water is super cheap in Arkansas. It's literally like spewing out of the ground like everywhere. So, water is really cheap in Arkansas, and it's just I think the thing of people saying no is that they think it's a scam, or it's just like, there's always a catch with something that's free. And like, I always explain to people that, I record for my social media pages, I'm recording myself working, the transformation, and they're like, oh, there's no way you can make money doing that. Like I can't let you do that for free. I'm like, no, like I do make money for it. Let me do it for free for you. And it's just, a process of trying to explain it to people, especially the older generation that don't really understand content.
They're very skeptical.
Yeah, very skeptical.
So you mow in if you're going to find an overgrown lawn, it's probably going to be an area of town that's not so great. With us both being in Wichita, I know the area a little bit too. Are you ever nervous whenever you go to some of these areas and try and find a lawn and the houses don't look great, the neighborhood isn't a great one? Yeah.
Usually I'm dressed pretty professionally, and I look like a contractor, and so I'm hoping that people aren't going to answer the door and be freaked out thinking I'm going to try to rob them or something. But yeah, like knocking on doors sketches me out sometimes, especially every now and again you'll see a news story, just somebody knocking on someone's door and they open the door and they shoot them because they think because no one knocks on doors anymore. And I also had this guy that I met. I did a meetup down in Houston, Texas, and he came and he came limping up to me. He had an issue with his leg, and he's like, dude, I've been a lawn care guy for like 30 years. I'm just telling you, like, be careful out there, because while I was mowing my client's lawn, a guy came up and mugged me. He held me at gunpoint and told me to give me my wallet and my phone, and so I gave it to him. And before leaving, he shot me in the leg and left. Yeah, so that scares me. It scares my wife too, but it's just one of the risks that are there that you just have to kind of watch over your shoulder and just be careful.
That'll stick in the back of your mind.
Yeah, it does.
So do you, with SB Mowing, with you being the face of that, you can't really pull yourself out in the future to give yourself a little bit more security from that risk.
Yeah.
Is SB Mowing the long-term play for you, or do you have like something in the back of your head of like, how can I get to maybe a safer route or a different opportunity? Yeah,
that's a good question that, I've been thinking about a lot. My wife has, and it hasn't really been the safety aspect of it as much, because it's not a huge concern for me. It's just something that sits in the back of my mind that is just there so that I can, stay aware and be careful. The long term for SB Mowing, I want to do this as long as I can, but people don't realize how like intense that this work is on my body, especially, when I'm going and removing 4,000 pounds of dirt with a shovel because people like to watch it. Manual labor. And so, it's very tough. Like that'll put me out for a week, and like I'll just be so sore and so I know there's going to be.
Oh, there's the GoPro.
Yep, there it goes. I know there's going to be like long-term effects on my body if I'm not careful, and so like I want to do this for the near future. I really like what I do, and I love the work. I love being able to help people out and being able to. I tell people it's the coolest business model. I'm able to go help somebody out for free. I'm able to provide awesome entertainment for people online, and then I'm able to make an income and support my family. And so, I definitely want to do it as long as possible because I'm really blessed with this opportunity. But eventually, I think I do want to start more of a car restoration YouTube channel,
Really?
like doing transformations on cars instead of lawns.
That's awesome.
Which will be a lot more work, not necessarily labor intensive, but will be a lot longer work. But it's more of my dream channel, which I don't know if it'll ever come to fruition or not, but we'll see.
I don't see why you couldn't. You're doing lawn care, man, and it's doing really well.
Yeah. So my plan is to, we need at least a shop to be able to do that. I can't do that in my garage. So it's definitely in the future.
Okay. I want to jump into that, but first I want to ask regarding the wear and tear in your body. Are you lifting weights at all outside of this? You take an ice bath, you stretching, getting massages? Are you trying to...
I take hot showers. We're actually getting a hot tub.
Let's go.
Yeah, we're getting a hot tub. This company reached out to me, Bullfrog Spas, and they're like, hey, if you we just noticed that you need something to recover in, can we send you a spa? I'm like, yeah,
Let's
can.
Go. Yes,
Let's
please.
do it, please. So I'm getting that. But yeah, I've thought about getting an ice bath. I've tried ice baths before. I really like them. We also recently got a cheaper massage chair that's been nice.
There you go.
But yeah, I'm not doing a ton. I don't work out. I literally can't work out. After I'm done with those lawns, and I'm just so sore, and it's just, I can't work out. And if I'm sore for a workout, I can't do a lawn.
Yeah.
And so, I'm trying to do 3 to 4 lawns a week this summer, which, is 4 to 5 days worth of work. So it's just, it doesn't make sense for me to work out because that is my workout.
No, that's 100% valid. I would say then if you're taking that much wear and tear, definitely go the ice bath route. I run a lot of ultra marathons, or I guess I've ran a few ultra marathons, and when you put the miles in the body, the only thing I found to make a difference is an ice bath. And I just use a 100-gallon livestock trough filled with water.
Oh, nice.
And then
you dump ice in it?
Dump ice in it. That's much cheaper than getting the $3,000 tubs that are out there. But I would definitely recommend that. Yeah,
I tried it for the first time, about a month ago with my buddy Al Blades. He does lawn care as well on social media. And it was
How was that?
It's like a mindset thing to keep it in your mind that you're going to get in, tell yourself, because you don't want to.
Right.
But just getting in and just staying in there for a few minutes. And once you're in, it's not that bad, but it does feel really relaxing, and it feels like, you just drank a coffee or something without all the caffeine.
Right. Did you feel any different that night or the next day, or was it just while you were in there you felt good?
I wasn't really too sore when I tried it, so
that's fair.
Yeah, I'll have to get one for myself and actually try it when I really need it.
Yeah, let me know if you got any questions, man. I'm huge on ice baths.
I will.
I'm a big fan. Okay, I wanted to car restoration for sure, but I also wanted to ask you before I forget. So we talked about content creation being a new career route for people, and there not being a lot of education around it. Would you be comfortable doing not the actual numbers, but percentage wise of your income of merchandise versus the channel versus sponsors? Yeah.
So for me, this is definitely different for every YouTuber and every social media creator. Because I know Danny Duncan is 80% of his merch, and he's got this huge merch line that he sells in Spencer's and stuff. Mine is very new, it's a few months old, which I've had my merch for a while, but we just kind of transitioned to this new local store to where we can kind of do it more locally and support a local business that prints and they warehouse and ship for us and stuff. But overall, I would say from ad revenue from the platforms is probably 70%. It's most of it. And then from, I'd say sponsors is 15%, and merch is probably the other 15%. So
the benefit with the sponsors too, they help you out with some of the equipment, don't they?
Yeah, it's super cool. So I've got Bad Boy Mowers. I think that's the hoodie I'm wearing. Yeah, so Bad Boy Mowers is my mower sponsor. So they send me a mower to use free of charge. I don't have to pay for the mower, which is nice because it's a $10,000 mower.
That's absurd.
And it's a beast. So it is a beast. And then I use Mariama handheld equipment. They're another big sponsor of mine. So my edger, my trimmer, my blower. I use hedge trimmers, just handheld gas powered equipment. I've got some other smaller sponsors. I just signed a new sponsor, Muck Boots.
Muck is great.
Yeah, I love them. And I've never worn a lot of muck boots before this, but like they sent me some to try out. I'm like, dude, these are really nice. Like these are nice. Let's do this. And so, those are some of the sponsors, my biggest ones. One I've been using that's a pretty small sponsor is Reach Right. I don't know if you've seen it in my newer videos. It's like this handle that attaches to my shovel.
I noticed that yesterday.
And I'm really bad about lifting with my back. But so I still lift with my back with it, but it helps out a lot and just gives me a little bit more leverage when I'm moving some dirt.
I saw that yesterday and I was thinking of all the yard projects my dad had me do growing up. I was like, where was that at?
Yeah, and like it's not just for a shovel, you can take it off in 2 seconds and put it on a rake, or you can put it on your trimmer, or just any tool that has just a straight shaft.
That's nice. That's real nice. Okay, so Luke Combs, what's the story behind this? Is he coming on a video?
I don't know, dude. So he, for the people that don't know, Luke Combs was on a podcast, and they asked him, what pops up in your TikTok feed and like what do you watch? He's like, oh, that one guy that mows like those crazy overgrown yards for free, and it was Grady Smith, I think, and he said, oh, SB Mowing, and Luke Combs was like, yeah, SB Mowing, I watch that guy all the time. Like he goes and mow these people's crazy overgrown lawns, and so I did like a little reaction video to it, and I said, dude, you got to come here to Kansas and mow a lawn with me. And he said, let's do it in the comments. And then I've tried to reach out to him, and I think he's just too busy. He's been on tour, so maybe one day, maybe he'll see this podcast. Luke Combs, come mow a lawn with SB Mowing here in Kansas. I know you hunt here in Pratt, Kansas, getting the big deer here. So while you're here, let's do a lawn.
He's a big fan of the podcast too. Him and I are constantly talking.
Do you?
No, not at all. No, that's awesome, man. Like it's the little things like that. That's not going to affect your business, but it's like, whoa, like someone like Luke Combs, like I love his music.
I love Luke Combs' music.
And the fact that like he watches your videos, that's got to be such a surreal moment.
It's wild. It's wild for sure.
That's cool. Okay. So jumping back into the car restoration as we kind of start to wrap up, I know you got a hard stop here.
Yeah.
Have you done like the calculation of what that would take to get that started up?
Not straight up calculations. I mean, I would definitely have to invest quite a bit of money, which is going to be tough because like if we want to like end up building a shop, because our dream is to buy a little bit of land, not a lot, maybe like 5 to 10 acres that we can build a house on and just kind of live for the rest of our lives on. That's kind of our goal, and eventually build a shop on. So we'd have to build a shop, and then I've honestly got most of the tools and equipment that I would need. I might need some body work equipment, but so building a shop is the biggest expense. I could rent a shop if I want to start it earlier.
Yeah.
So I might do that first. We'll see. But then, finding and buying the car, I would like to do, interesting, unique, more, rare cars. So, that's going to be kind of an expense to buy those up front. Yeah. But, also, I wouldn't only be making, an income from the videos. I would be restoring a car that would be worth a lot more afterwards that I could, either keep or sell or something like that. So,
do you know Jared Garage? Jared Garage is out of Arizona. He does car restorations, just like you're talking about. He's got a couple million on YouTube now. But
oh, wow.
He came on the podcast a few years ago. And when he first started talking about doing that as a business, I I don't have the technical knowledge to restore a car. I can do the basics, but like that's real sharp because, you get the ad income, you can get sponsors, and then you can sell the car and make profit off it. Like, what a cool business model.
It is very cool. And then, something like that, like you could, do a lot with, like you were saying, then you could sell merch on top of it, and then you can go to, car shows and show off your new car and people can come and see it. Like it's super cool.
Do you know what cars you'd want to start with?
No, I don't know.
You don't have like a dream list?
Maybe a Corvette.
A Corvette. There you go.
I have made a list. I actually saw a car on Facebook Marketplace not too long ago that it was like this, it was like a 60s Jeep or something. It was like a Levi edition, and it was just, it was like surface rusty. It wasn't like, you can't really restore something that has a bunch of holes in the frames or, something like that. But if you can get something that's in, bad condition that can be brought back up, that's just what I'm looking for. It doesn't really matter the model. I just want something kind of unique and just cool.
That sounds like it'd be a really cool. I mean, hopefully you can get this going in the next few years, because I think that something like that would do quite well.
Yeah, I'm hoping maybe in the next few years I can start, especially, if I'm working my butt off during the summers, I'll have time during the winters. If I'm able to, line up my mowing videos, then I'll have, between October and March to do that channel, which would be super cool.
You're a busy guy, man.
Yeah.
Especially if you add that on top of it. Things are going to get real hectic.
Yeah, I've been learning to say no to a lot of things lately, and just not just to turn down just a lot of things that'll take up a lot of my time. Just trying to prioritize my time, because it's just so limited, and I don't want to spend all my time working. I want to spend a lot of time with my wife and with friends and family, and so I've been cutting back a lot, trying to make that a bigger part of my life for sure.
Yeah. So would you say it's a goal then, like in the long run, to build up SB Mowing and the power washing so that you can transition into the cars, but then maybe focus more on the car restoration so you have more time personally with friends, family? Or do you always see yourself like this kind of locked in? And
No, I don't see myself this locked in forever. Definitely with car restoration, like I can only see myself releasing just a few videos a year, like a few big videos. And then with mowing, I don't want to quit mowing. Like I love it. Like I love helping people out. I love this work. And so if I were to cut back on mowing, it would be more like, instead of 4 videos a month, maybe 2 or 1 video a month, just like one really good video a month,
once a week is crazy.
Yeah. Once a week is rough. But what I've noticed is picking a time and date once a week and posting as consistently I have as the past 2 years, I've ingrained myself in people's schedules.
There you go.
If I don't post by 8 a.m. on Friday, if I post at 8:05 a.m. or 8:10 a.m., I'm getting emails like I'm sitting down here with my coffee. Like, where's your video? Are
you okay?
Yeah, I've got my breakfast ready. Like, where's your video? I watch this every single Friday at 8 a.m. So I think that's been a big part of my longer term success, and why I've been able to have a lot of consistent growth over the last 2 years, is that, I'm just posting every single Friday.
It's going to be 8:10 a.m. on Friday with no video, and you're going to see the news headline, SB Mowing quits YouTube ?
Yeah, right. What happened? Where's he at?
Yeah. That's awesome. Well, here, as we wrap up, where can people find you on YouTube, Instagram, all of your social medias?
Yeah, you can go to just any social media platform. Just look up SB Mowing or SB Pressure Washing. And then I've also got a new website that I just launched that you can actually find all my videos, all my merch, all my frequently asked questions, and just all my biography and everything. That's just sbmowing.com.
You have a lot of frequently asked questions. I noticed that yesterday.
Yes, because I would get so many emails and just I'm like, dude, I can't keep answering this stuff. And so I just would just every time I just get a new question that I'm like, dude, I've been getting this question a lot, I just throw it in there.
Most FAQs are 5 to 10 questions long, and yours, I just kept going. I was probably. My whole interview prep was just going through your FAQs.
Yeah, because that page on my website is like a contact form for merch support, or if somebody has an overgrown lawn. I tell people I'm only doing them in Wichita to contact me, but I get them from all over the U.S. And so I put the frequently asked questions above that form, so that people have to go through them before they get to the form.
There you go.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, you can find me on Instagram at Jacob O'Connor. If you guys enjoyed the podcast, please make sure to share it with a friend. And my final question for you, Spencer, looking back at this really cool journey you've been on for the last 2.5 years, what advice would you give to your younger self?
Oh man. Yeah, definitely I would tell myself don't doubt yourself, and don't be afraid of what other people are going to think about you. Definitely when I got started with my first video, I knew that's something I really want to do. And it was one of the hardest things to show my friends, my family, and even my girlfriend, my very first video. It was so hard. I was embarrassed. I thought they were going to think it's stupid. And if I thought that and I didn't show them and I didn't upload it, I wouldn't be where I'm at today. So yeah, just getting past the judgment of other people and just worrying about, what you want to do and doing it.
That's such a difficult thing, man.
Yeah.
I started the podcast in high school. I didn't tell anyone from my high school about it. I wouldn't record videos, just audio. I just started doing the camera a year ago.
Oh yeah.
It is so hard to if you want to share something to a lot of people, but to also not care about what a lot of people think at once, that is such a paradox. It's difficult to deal with.
It's extremely hard. And yeah, if you can learn to get past that, you can do whatever you want in life.
Thank you for coming on, Spencer.
You're welcome. Thanks for having me.
Yeah.